Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yes, it is finally Champions League night also for our beloved Juventus that will try today to have the first 3 points in Champions League after match day 3. Something totally unusual because we were not used to lose the two first games in Champions League. Today we have on paper the easiest team to beat in our Group H with Paris Saint-Germain and Benfica, but that doesn't mean that it will be an easy game. We played only 2 times in 2008 in Champions League versus Maccabi, and 2 times we won only 1-0. Today, if I have to sign for a 1-0 win, I do it. Unfortunately. Yes, of course, I would love to go with a 6-1 like Napoli did, because Napoli did amazingly, but the most important thing today is to go back to win also in Champions League after the win that we did in Serie A versus Bologna 3-0. My friends, we have a lot of things to speak about today. We will go with the last tested predicted lineups. I hope that you are putting a maximum of like. I hope that you are subscribing to the channel. Let's go, we start immediately, because the one that has been chosen today is Kostic. Kostic on the front of that beautiful poster of Juventus announced the game of today in our Allianz Stadium. Today, if you are asking yourself, Beppe, where are the images? Today we will focus on the words. Today we will focus on my face. Today we will focus on Juve environment, but no pictures. We have no time for that because Juventus is playing in a few hours. Kostic, yes, and then we continue to say goodbye, not to Gonzalo Higuain that left football. Not yet. He announced his retirement. The one that left for real is Kwadwo Asamoah, ex-player of Juventus that played with the number 22. If I'm not wrong, also with the number 23 in the beginning, before Vidal changed. Anyway, Kwadwo Asamoah was not a phenomenon, but he did really great at Juventus. I have really beautiful thoughts about our ex-player that then also him went to Inter. It is what it is. He didn't perform really well, but I have super beautiful thoughts of Kwadwo Asamoah. He will become an agent of players, so we wish him the best of luck. We start with the pages. A few words, of course, about yesterday, Inter and Napoli, because we already did a live about it, but just to recap, because the front pages of Italy are, of course, speaking about what happened yesterday with Corriere dello Sport, who is opening with Napoli Divino, a divine Napoli. And it's true that if we have to say that Napoli, yes, yesterday won 6-1 versus Ajax Amsterdam in the Cruyff Arena in Amsterdam, we have to say congratulations to them. Yesterday we spent a lot of beautiful words for Napoli. Hopefully they will not be able to repeat it for too long in Serie A, so that we can go back in that run for the Scudetto, because we are at -7. But anyway, they deserve what they have. Then they are speaking about Inter a bit smaller in Corriere dello Sport. They are saying l'Inter si scopre grande. Inter is discovering that they are also a big team. They won 1-0 versus Barca. I don't see any controversial image here in Corriere dello Sport. Will they do it in Gazzetta dello Sport? Well, what do we see? Cuore Inter, in big, in giant, the heart of Inter. Yesterday, apparently, with 28% of possession of the ball, with only 2 shots on target, apparently, they won with the heart. Yes, they won with the heart, but I prefer to go to the Spanish side, because the Spanish side is saying, manos arriba, the hands in the air. And it's not the DJ that is asking you, put your hands up in the air. No, it's actually the VAR that was sometimes seeing the handballs for Barcelona when they had to cancel them a goal, when they are also closing their eyes a bit a la Beppe Marotta, when they had actually to make sure that they didn't see the handball of Dumfries. Catastrophe. A disgrace. Yesterday, a big robbery. Top 5. No, maybe. They have so many I can't choose. I don't know where to put them in the robberies of Inter. Anyway, let's focus again on Juventus with Tuttosport. Tuttosport is saying Juve! La notte di Di Maria, la notte di Signor Champions, the night of Di Maria, the night of Signor, Mr. Champions. Why are they saying that Di Maria is Mr. Champions? First of all, because he already won it, and that's already something that we can't neglect. That's the first thing. But then if you are going into the details, who played the most Champions League games, we see that Angel Di Maria already played 100 times in that beautiful competition, the competition that we are dreaming to win again. Remember last time it was that shirt. I'm sorry, I still have some problems. After 3 years, I still have some problems. That shirt here, we are still dreaming about it. Well, Di Maria, he already won it, and he played 100 times in that competition, followed by Bonucci Bonucci with 80, Alexandro 74, 59 for Danilo, 56 for Rabiot. It's a lot. 53 for Cuadrado, and then we have the other ones. De Sciglio looks like he's playing forever at Juve, but he only played 27. Today he can start. Today he can play his 28th game in Champions League. 23 for Paredes, 21 for Milik, 21 for Kin. Kin and Milik the same numbers of appearances in Champions League, and the same as Weston McKennie as well with 21. We continue. Double page in Gazzetta dello Sport about Di Maria. Di Maria vai col rilancio. Di Maria start all over again. Not only with Juve, because we have to start. Hey, we didn't start yet. We lost already versus Paris Saint-Germain. 2-1, I believe, versus Benfica. It was exactly the same result. I put it out of my memory. If I'm wrong, correct me, please, in the channel. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I sing stupid things. Today we try to go for the win. We have to restart with Juventus, but also Di Maria. Di Maria that started 60 minutes quite well versus Sassuolo. He disappeared. He disappeared. We need that feeling. We need these Rabonas, these Trivellas, these assists, these magical touches. Yes, it was great to win versus Bologna. We are hungry for more. We want to hear that song, The Champions. And we want to score, and we want to celebrate a win, and a beautiful win. Dai ragazzi, we can do it, I believe in it. La Juve ritrova il suo top player. Juventus is finding back their top player. Allegri carica al max. Allegri is motivating the guys. We will come back on the words of Szczesny in a second. Juve, Tuttosport is saying the same. Notte di Di Maria. So for Gazzetta dello Sport and for Tuttosport, they're saying it's the night of Di Maria. It is what it is. Per metterci la firma di Signor Champions. It is the night for Di Maria to put the signature on from Senior Champions, from Mr. Champions. What do we see? That Il Fideo, he's pumped up. He wants to start with Juventus also in that competition, and he wants to do really well. He was not able to play versus his ex-team Paris Saint-Germain and versus Benfica. He will do it today versus Maccabi Haifa. Today also Benfica versus Paris Saint-Germain to understand who will go on top of Group H, waiting for the remaining games to be played. Who will play? Well, Paredes. This is a certainty. Some doubts in defense and in the midfield. But if there is one player that will play, it is Leandro Paredes that started on the bench versus Bologna. He entered for the last minutes of the game. He will be there. We will probably go towards a 4-3-3. According to Tuttosport, Gazzetta dello Sport is giving a 4-4-2. We will probably go versus a 4-3-3, and Paredes will be there in the middle. Juventus, they are repeating 0 points as today. Only 2 goals scored, one of Weston McKennie and then the one versus Benfica from Milik. That's it. That's it at the moment. We have to do better. We have to do much better. So who will play next and around Paredes? Well, Szczesny will be there in the goal. Then you have probably the last formation, the last lineup that has been tested today in La Continasa before playing tonight. We have 4 men in defense. Cuadrado on the right, De Sciglio on the left. Really, already we start with the surprises. And then in the middle of the defense, we have not Bremer and Bonucci. One of them will play, or Bonucci or Bremer, and next to them Danilo. Danilo that for the big games, for the Champions League nights, we have him in the center of the defense to tell you how much that Allegri is trusting the Brazilian player. 4-man defense, then 3 men in the midfield. I already told you about the regista, the one that will direct the game, the one that will dictate the tempo. It will be Paredes, and next to them McKennie for the second consecutive game on the right. Rabiot. Hey guys, start putting Rabiot and then you put the other 10 men next to him. Rabiot will play, Locatelli on the bench. Probably there will be a change half-time or the 60th minute between Rabiot and Locatelli to give them minutes, depending how the game is evolving. And then on top we have the trio. Kostic on the left, Serbian connection with Vlahovic on top, and then on the right side, Angel Di Maria with the number 22. Allegri ha voglia di few. What is few? Few is last minute brief to say, we did it. He wants to do it also in Champions League because everything mathematically is still possible. But first of all, we have to win today. We have to win the next game versus Maccabi Haifa and then in home of the Portuguese leaders Benfica. Otherwise, we stop believing, we stop dreaming. We have to fix our defense. Not only in Serie A, where we are actually with only 5 goals conceded, the second best defense of Serie A, but we have to also solve it in Champions League, where at the moment we already conceded 2 goals versus Paris, 2 goals versus Benfica. That's a total of 4 goals in 2 games. That's too much, a lot we are going also today for a clean sheet. That would be so important. Not only that, the mental. And yesterday in press conference, they spoke with Szczesny. Szczesny yesterday showed a maturity in taking the words that was extraordinary. I see also for him, like maybe Asamoah, starting a career after being a player. Maybe for him in a management of a club, maybe as a coach, I don't know, but yesterday he showed a lot of signs of maturity. He said about mental coaches, yes, in the future it will be more and more important for players to speak with an external mental coach, maybe with a mental coach from the club. At the moment it is Allegri that is doing it, and Allegri is getting us pumped up 100%. He's motivating and turbo boosting it. So what we hear sometimes in microphone, apparently this is not what Szczesny is hearing from his coach. Szczesny yesterday said we are pumped up, and this is thanks to Allegri. I want to see it also on the field, because blah blah is beautiful, but on the field is even better. I want to continue with how Maccabi Haifa played already in the 2 games versus Paris Saint-Germain and Benfica, in the 2 first games of Champions League for them, where they had 0 points, but they did quite well. Well, it's the team that in the center of the field they put a lot of density. They are super present, so the work of Di Maria and from Kostic, and especially also maybe from Cuadrado, will be super important, especially Cuadrado, that if he goes a bit more up and Kostic totally on the left, it will be important to make sure that Maccabi Haifa is not sticking in that middle, but that is going open, so that we are giving some space centrally. Otherwise it will be really difficult also to find a way to go and to assist Vlahovic, that we know it, when he's not receiving balls, he has some difficulties. So make sure that Cuadrado, as a right back, goes a bit up wide. Kostic put his game totally wide, so that we are attracting also the players from Maccabi Haifa to find these spaces. He's doing it in the 2 games. Last news about Mercato, it's far away. Yes, I know we are speaking about Locatelli to Arsenal. We are speaking about some offers for Vlahovic from Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. Well, some good news. Juventus is still on Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, and I'm sure I can tell you, if you are succeeding for once to go with Lotito, with some money, maybe with a counter pack, another player, and we are able to take that Serbian player, Vlahovic is going nowhere. 3 players from Serbia, Kostic, Vlahovic, and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Attenzione! What a Serbian connection, but this is really far away. Now, let's focus on Maccabi Haifa. Thank you for following, thank you for the maximum of like. Hope you are pumped up. Dai ragazzi, we see each other for the watch along on Juventus Twitch, and then for the post game here on the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve!